OMTimes Radio. The following is an encore presentation. Welcome to Joy of Business with host Simone Milasas, a dynamic business leader with a difference. Simone has founded and operated many businesses from a young age and has always done business differently. Today, Simone is the worldwide coordinator of Access Consciousness and travels the world presenting Joy of Business programs using access tools and empowering people to know that they can create business in a different way and make money doing it. Simone Milasas, weekly on OMTimes Radio.
Hi everybody, you're with Simone Milasas on Joy of Business radio show on OMTimes. Welcome. And today I'm actually at home again. It's so funny. I think I travel like 10 months a year and I feel like all these shows at the moment I'm saying I'm at home. So maybe this is just where I get the time to do it. So I've got, it's another pre-record, and today we've got the lovely Glenna Rice. She's joining me from the US of A. So welcome, Glenna.
Hi, Simone. Thanks for having me on. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Home once in a while.
Now,
yeah.
This is exciting because, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say home rarely, and yeah, that I have the same kind of life. It's nice to be home.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Doing a show.
I usually see you all over the world, so traveling around the place. So this month, if you caught last week's show, you'd know what we're on about. But this month on the Joy Business Radio Show, we're talking about the business of bodies, because my point of view is everything is your business. It's not just the thing that you do Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, that, you know, brings you money. It's your entire life is your business. I mean, as I've said before, if you wake up in the morning and you've got blood running through your veins, guess what? You're in business. So this month, we're looking at the business of bodies. So I've asked a few people to come on that are sort of, you know, work with bodies. And what I'd like to do, Glenna, is also give some people, run whatever processes you want, tools, etc., that they can actually walk away from this show with some tools that they can start to have more fun with their bodies, be more in, you know, more in communion with their bodies, and see what changes they could do. I mean, we had Andrew on last week, and he was fabulous, and we went all over the place talking about different topics. So the business of bodies, what I first want to do, Glenna, is you've worked with bodies for a long, long, long time, correct?
Correct. My business has been working with bodies, actually. That's been my business for some 20 plus years. Yeah. Long time.
I'd say 20 plus.
20 plus.
So one of the things is Glenna Rice is also a certified facilitator for Access Consciousness. She's also an SE, which Andrew and I spoke about that, certified facilitator, where you do classes all over the world as well. And SE is the energetic synthesis of structural
embodiment. Yes.
Embodiment. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, which is lots of fun. So we'll talk about that as well, and we can look at the classes that you have on around the place. And so name some of the things that you have done over those 20 plus years of working with bodies. Like what sort of, you know, experience have you had with bodies, the business of bodies?
The business of bodies. Well, I first became a physical therapist, and I started working with bodies then as my first business. And I've worked everywhere in that field. You can imagine being the humanoid that I am. Everything bored me really quickly, and I changed jobs all the time. And I did that for years, and then I started my own practice specializing in what is very similar to what I'm doing with Essie now, and started my first my own business, which was phenomenal. But what I've done, when I started, it was rehabbing bodies, you know, orthopedic injuries or people that had strokes or whatever physical therapists do. And now it's really different. It's changing bodies so they can start to be what they've been asking to have a communion with your body, so you can start to create together in a way you've never imagined possible. And Essie's starting to create something that, it's brand new that I've been teaching this. This is my 5th class just occurred. And the feedback I'm getting is blowing my mind in some ways about what it's about receiving the body in a different way. People are talking about like a lot of the body stuff we do in Access, like the bars and the body processes. People are doing Essie sessions and getting their bars run. It's the first time I've ever received the bars that way. So it's creating something totally different. So my business with bodies is creating something greater than you can imagine with bodies, which is kind of cool. I don't think I've ever said that before.
That's awesome. I've seen some
Yeah.
really cool photos from your classes as well. The one I remember the most, which I'm sure you do too, is the one that you did, and you were doing it with horses, and you were doing the body class. So I saw this great photo with a massage table, someone lying on the massage table, and the horse is like leaning over, like it looks like it's sniffing the person, or just, lightly, gently touching the person. And it's like, oh man, that's the sort of communion that, we should all ask for and be with animals and with the earth. It's absolutely beautiful. I think it was in Costa Rica, is that right?
That one was in, I think, Edmonton. Susie Godsey, who has been doing the SE work on animals for quite a few years, and does bodies too, but that's not her. Her love is animal and working with animals. We know her. And we did the class together, and that was the SE extravaganza. And the horses actually were contributing to working on the bodies. It was amazing. And we got the participants, there was a way they started to see that their body wasn't different. Like having the bodies, these, people bodies that we have, wasn't different than having a body that's a horse body. They respond to the techniques the same. They respond to questions the same. Horses don't talk. So when it doesn't work for them, they walk away. When it works for them, they're right there with you in a way I'd never seen before. So the horses actually came over to tables and contributed to what we were doing. They were almost like they were really excited. Like, oh boy, look, we can work with the people. And they're going to receive us. It was so exciting.
That's cool. I love that. Well, it's actually funny. I was lying in bed this morning before I got up, and I asked what I could contribute to the earth, because we actually have this class on at the moment called the Earth Class with Gary Douglas and Jane here. And it was interesting because I really heard the earth desiring to contribute to me more so. And I'm, that place that so many people go, I would, it's like we're forever sort of gifting, and it's like, have you actually, stopped and started to receive? I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about that and about people receiving their bodies or just receiving.
Just receiving. Yeah, and we don't receive our bodies in this reality at all. You were talking about, it's funny, I just had a call that I did was on money and bodies, and what came out was so much about our bodies being these things we just use to work for our business. Like we need to work our fingers to the bones, and that there's nothing about the business being for your body. And we've talked about money being for your body because as an infinite being, your being doesn't require money, but your body does. And your business is creating that, and your body is a huge part of the contribution of it. And how often do we ever bring our bodies into the equation of that whole creation of our business? People, it seemed like bodies were like this slave you could work to get your business going. How many of us are sitting on computers working to the end of the night thinking we're working really hard, not saying, well, body, would you like to be part of it? Do you want to stay on the computer? What are we going to get out of it? Would you like the money that we're going to receive from the business we're doing right now, typing all night? Our bodies are...
Nice question.
Yeah. And if we ask our bodies, for mine, it's like, yeah, I'm here, I'm game, let's go. Let's go. This is fun for me. Why do you think you're doing it?
That's fun. I'm going to start asking that too. I've actually got a really sore pointer finger at the moment from working in Google Docs and going back and forth and stuff, because we've got this huge 7-day event in South Africa, and it's like this. It's not just typing; it's this constant back and forth of this thing. So my pointer finger is really sore. So I'm going to start doing that. It's like, hey, body, and it's like we're about to be in South Africa. We're going to go on game rides and see animals and be in the heat and swimming, etc., and getting body processes every day. So let's do it. Can we do it? So I love that. So everywhere that you've been refusing to actually ask your body to assist you and work with you, with your business, where you destroy and uncreate it, times a good day, and all right, no, I'm good and bad, pock and pot all night, shorts, boys and beyond. What were you going to say, sorry, Glenna?
No, I said that just made my body happy. When you said
nice. Happy bodies.
Happy
so
bodies,
let me ask you about, because when you sort of said, yes, you've had this business for over 20 years with the business of bodies, one of the things I see is that some people, or a lot of people who are fantastic at working with bodies, have no idea about business. And it's like, did you have much of an idea about business, or what choices did you make, or what sort of made that turning point where instead of working, for someone else, etc., you actually started your own business?
That's a great question. Access was a huge contribution to that. Part of it was being willing to charge for what I did, And that was really difficult at first. I mean, what I started doing was so different than what traditional physical therapists did at first when I first opened it up. And I also had young kids at the time, and I needed to have more time at home with them and not be on a schedule, you know, the way the physical therapy world was. This way I was able to see people when I wanted to, when it worked for me around the kids' schedule. So it was a huge gift that way. That was one of the big creators of what I was choosing, was that, wanting to create a life that worked for me. I didn't have those words then, but, you know, what would work for me being a mother of kids. And then
did you work from home?
I did. I worked from home for a while, and then I got an office, but I could just schedule the appointments whenever I wanted to. You know, so I would take the kids to school or whatever their pickup or their activities. I could work all around that. So I worked from home for when I first started it, and I was kind of I mixed the two up. I kept my other I was working for a school district as a physical therapist, so I kept that going as I started my own until my own got big enough that it was easy to leave that one. So I quit.
Now, I just want to interject here for a second, too. You're a single mom as well, right?
Yes.
At this stage? Yeah, so with 3 kids?
Yes.
Okay.
And so the youngest was under 2 at the time. Yeah.
Holy moly. Okay.
I know.
So what tools because I see a lot of people sort of have these reasons and justifications for not creating a business and for not creating, you know, as you said it, and it's like creating a business that works for you. And it's like, so you had 3 kids and the youngest was under 2 and you still managed to start creating a business. What's some of the hints or tools or questions that you would have asked them you can give listeners?
Wow. I'm looking back. That's a great question. Yeah, in some ways, I couldn't not do it. There was no way my life was going to work for me if I was doing it the way I was, having the kids. With the 3 kids and their schedules, it just wouldn't. So I was, that where you make a demandment that your life works for you and everything starts to show up. I also really found this work that I loved doing. And the first time I had a private client, I giggled and giggled and giggled and giggled. Like, this is the best job ever. So part of it was the work I was doing. Yeah, I was like, you can do this with your body and have this much fun and make money. And then there was, Gary Douglas talked about, you know, how much do you want to charge for what you're doing? And that was the big thing I had to change, because what I was charging was way less than my business or what I was offering people. I think I tripled my price when I first got the awareness. And so I asked the energy of what I did for an hour, what is this worth? What is the value of this hour? And got a number that was, I think I was charging $80 at the time, and I got $250, which was so far outside of the range of where I could even imagine going at the time. I went up in baby steps, but I did go up, and then I got more business. Each time I increased my rates, I got more people coming to see me. So that was one of the tools I used. And
nice, I love that. Hey,
we
are about to go off to a break, so when we come back, I'd actually love to walk people through that and about what they do charge for a session, because one thing I do see is people undervaluing themselves a lot. So if you've got some tools or questions for them to actually have a look at how much they should charge and start to value them, would be awesome. So we're off to a break. Don't leave us. You're with Glenna Rice and Simone Milasas on The Joy of Business, and we're talking about the business of bodies this month. Woohoo!
What if business could be fun? What if business is the adventure of living? What are you choosing? Where do you do business that makes it easier, more fun, or more joyful for you? We'd love to see where you do business. Connect with us on Instagram at Joy of Business or Twitter at Joy of Business, and share your pictures with hashtags BusinessDoneWhere and Joy of Business. Let's change the world with business. Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Hi, I'm Katrina Kavanagh, host of the I Am Wisdom radio show. I Am Wisdom is about the connection between mind work and energy work, spirituality and living a wonderful life. Looking forward to sharing each Sunday 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with you.
The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is. The cutting edge of conscious radio. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Business of Bodies with Joy Business. You're with your host Simone Milasas and Glenna Rice. And when we left, we were talking about finding the value of you. And one of the things, this comes up a lot with so many people, and not just in working with bodies, and it's like with many different businesses, it's like, how much do you charge? And I see people do this thing too, where they go, well, I'm really valuable and now I'm going to charge, X amount. And they do it more from a resistance and reaction of trying to prove their value and their worth, rather than going, okay, like you said, what is my value here and what is this worth? And it's like, and what's fun for me to be actually playing with bodies? What's fun for me in my business? So what price would that be? So do you have any hints or tools for people to ask for questions like that?
Oh, well, I mean, just asking that, the first question of like, what is this worth, and getting the numbers, because you're not, I mean, we'll give our work away if someone likes it. If someone just said, that was the most amazing session I've ever had, I just go away smiling. So I had to really look at, I require money for this. I require money to raise my kids, to live where I live, all the things that my body enjoys.
Drink nice champagne.
Drink nice champagne. And back then it was like, not cheap champagne was good for me at that point. So I wasn't anywhere where I am now. So I got the number, but I also looked at, is that something that's going to be able to be received by the people I'm working with? In my business, if I just went from $80 an hour up to $250, I was like, no, this is something that's not going to, like, if I did that today, it would be kind of I might not keep my business going the way I am now. So I asked, so how much should I raise it now? And I think it was $125 or something like that. And that was easily received by all the people that had been coming to me regularly in my practice, and then in the access classes where I was working also. And then 6 months later, I asked it again, and it went up again. And when I finally got to $250, I remember how, like, that was just so fun. It was so fun because that was the number that I had gotten. So it was also looking at my business, not just this number of what the value is, because I was also looking at what the reality of the business that I was creating, and what it required, what I required to generate and create with that to have my life working. And I wasn't, to shock the normal people into, I just tripled my rates yesterday.
The normal people. What? I love that. Well, that's all about creating a business that works for you. So I love that. I mean, I just went to the hairdresser this morning, and she's raising her rates, right? And she was the way she said it, you could tell that she didn't want to sort of make anyone upset. And I said, Emma, I don't care what you raise your rates to. I'm really happy with you. I love what you do. And I was like, do what works for you, okay? I'll pay you whatever. And she just, the relief in her body, she just went, oh, thank you. And it's like, I think it's like $5 she's adding onto a haircut, and then she's got to add some of the color. Like, it's nothing compared to what she actually gives to you sitting in the thing and taking care of you. And she really does take care of you. She gives you a little shoulder massage before you go in, to get your hair cut and stuff. And it's like, yeah, this is good. So it's like, what if you were willing to actually acknowledge the gift that you are to people? And it's almost like the money that you receive is the gratuity. Like, in truth, you're worth so much more. So I'm going to do a little advert here, because I've actually got a Udemy course online, and it's called Finding the Value of You and Your Business. And it's online now at udemy.com. But if you want, you can get a $20 special off it. And you go to accessjoybusiness.com/Udemy special. So that's accessjoybusiness.com/Udemy special. Udemy is UDEMY special, and you'll get $20 off that. So that's for today. Finding the value of you and your business, because you've got to be honoring to yourself as well. And it's like, this is the business of bodies, and it's like honoring to your body. Like, I love the question when you were like, hey, body, do you want to make this money and stay up all night typing? And it's like, sure, why not? And it's like, what if you were willing to work with your body and have your body work with you? It's like, it's not separate. And it's like, you've got your best buddy hanging out with you all the time. And it's like, do you treat it as your best buddy, or do you treat it as something that you disdain or something that you judge? And it's like, what if the business of bodies was actually the willingness to create together? I mean, you know, I heard Gary Douglas say once that the definition or a great relationship is when two people get together and they create something at least 20 times greater than what they would have created alone. And it's like, what if you looked at that with your body? What if you and your body could create something 20 times greater than you as a being think? You know, I mean, I was saying to Andrew last week on the show, I was definitely one of those people who used to think, God, my body's almost like a pain. Like it was like, it slows me down. I'm so much faster or this or whatever, and spent years and years judging my body. So I was definitely one of those people who dismissed it and wasn't like, hey, what can we play? And I'm so grateful for the Access Consciousness tools in having a playful mate now, and not, you know, and it's definitely not, I'm not 100% out of judgment, but I'm getting there. It's like you go through different stages, but at least I'm willing to go, and stop myself and go, all right, is that actually creating anything by judging your body, or is it creating something less? And guess what, guys? It creates less. It never creates more, ever.
No, it stops that, like what you're saying, to create more with your body than without, and to acknowledge where we've always been doing that. I mean, being embodied in this reality, you're creating more with your body than when you're not embodied. So we're always doing that, but all these judgments we have of our body as being a wrongness or being in pain or being ugly or too slow or, you know, not tall enough, not skinny enough, whatever it is that we're judging, it stops our ability to even receive what our body's doing every day to gift to us to create more. And the joy of having a body in this reality, which is something we weren't even talking about this, Simone, a few years ago, the joy of embodiment, and now we're talking about it all the time. It's such a difference.
It is a huge difference.
Yeah, that there's a joy about having a body in this reality on this planet right now. There's joy in that. And just that point of view can contribute more to what you're creating in your business with your body, and your body's contributing to you. What if it was fun? That was like that. Go ahead.
No, well, I was just going to say, you went to a class that Gary Douglas did in Seattle, and it's funny, I've been listening to the whole class, and there's this one line in it, and he says it so randomly, and he goes, you've just got to let go. And I was like, it was like it yelled out to me, you've just got to let go. And I've been looking at that with every area of my life in the past few days going, if you just let go, like how many of us are trying to control what shows up in our life, in our business, our money flows, our currency flows, you know, with our bodies. And it's like, what if you just let go? I mean, how many people wake up and go, right, today's the day that I'm going to have, I call it an AFD, an alcohol-free day. And then Susie, our friend, said to me, you know, only alcoholics can't be managed if they don't drink. And I went, all right, well, I better have a drink then. It was like, how many AFDs do you have? But it's like, you know, it's like, okay, I'll have an AFD today, or I won't eat chocolate, or I'll do this. And it's like, what if you just let go and followed the energy and asked your body what it desired? I mean, last night I had no dinner and I had like 2.5 glasses of wine. It was great. Actually, I had some biltong, some beef jerky.
That was pretty much my evening tonight before the show.
Really?
Yeah, I had a couple
wine
pieces
and beef
of
jerky.
cheese. Yeah, and some salami and cheese, so similar, yeah. Well, to be out of control with your body, I mean, I'm sure you've talked about that a lot with business. To be out of control, you're not putting controls on it and allowing to follow the energy of what the body requires, what it would like to give to you, what it can receive, what would be fun for it, what it would like to eat, what it would like to wear, how late it would like to stay up working. I mean, what if your body wanted to work more hours in the evening than you even were aware of? What could you get done?
My body's like, no, I'm terrible at night. You want a meeting at 5 a.m.? Do it. But 11 p.m., I'm like, seriously, you want something out of me at 11 p.m.? It's not going to work. So what if you ran this? What would happen if you're out of control, out of definition, out of form, structure, significance, out of linearities, and out of concentricities with the business of your body? And everything at that is times a godzillion, where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. And another one that came up for me when you were talking too about the joy of embodiment is, what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be that will allow you to be the joy of embodiment? And everything it doesn't allow that to show up, destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So you can just put these on a loop and listen to them over and over again. And it's like, I mean, if you've been listening to my show, you'll know about the clearing statement, but you can go to theclearingstatement.com or accessjoybusiness.com and check out the Access Consciousness information there. It's like, it's designed to change any area of your life that you think is not working for you, or that you have any stuck points of view. And it's like, how many stuck points of view do we have in regards to our body?
Right, how many? You know, the out of control clearing, that has been one of my go-to clearings for I don't know how long. I love that one, being out of control.
Me too. You want to run it again?
Yeah, what ESC can you and your body be to be out of control, out of definition, out of linearity, out of concentricities, out of time, space, I'm missing form, structure, and significance, and I was into all time, space, dimensions, and realities for all eternity with your body and your business.
Well, I like
everything
that.
Doesn't allow
everything
like that. Would you like to destroy it and create it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond.
Can you run that one more time for us, Glenna? I
can. So, what ESC can you and your body be to be out of control, out of definition, out of linearity, out of concentricities, out of form, structure, and significance in all time, space, dimensions, and realities for all eternity with your body and your business? And everything that allow that was destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyond.
I love that. What were you going to say about it?
Oh, I was just going to say that I say it from the way it was done in the class I took years ago in Access. Added the time, space, dimensions, and realities. I just like that little yummy ending.
I like that.
Gary still uses that one all the time.
Right. Yeah, the whole thing about Access processes too is it's like if something comes up and it's like use it and it's like add whatever you want in there. I mean, that is my go-to process as well, and you add whatever is at the end. I mean, if you look at it, what would happen? What would happen if you were out of control, out of definition, out of form, structure, significance, out of linearities, and out of concentricities, out of time, space, dimensions, and realities with your body and your business? And everything at that is time to go dirty and right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all named shorts, boys and beyond. Because somewhere we decide that something is going to happen if we're out of control. And it's like, how often do you actually like to try and control something? I mean, I spoke last week about going heli skiing, and it's like, you know what? Heli skiing was totally out of control for me in Colorado. I had no idea what that was going to be like. You get dropped off at the top of the mountain. You know, you do have a guide, but it's like it's 10-second increments. It's like you're functioning from the adventure of living. You're definitely not functioning from the controlling of living. So, guys, we're off to our next break. We're going to come back with more of Glenna Rice, more of Simone Milasas, and the business of bodies, and you're with Joy of Business. And we look forward to talking to you really soon. And I have no idea why the break isn't coming on. That's scary. That means something's happened. Damn. Help.
I want to hit pause, but that's not going to work right now.
No. I'm going to stop here. There we go. Okay, so I think it's about... Yeah.
We've been on for 35 minutes.
Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
The Laying On of Hands Healing Radio Show is about treating the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. Join me, Charles Smith, as I share life-balancing measures such as nutrition and spiritual practices to help you take charge of your own health and wellness every Thursday at 7 p.m. on OMTimes Radio.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive, dedicated community.
Would your business and life like to be bigger? Would you like to have more fun with everything you do? Simone Milasas travels the world facilitating Joy of Business seminars. These classes are for you if you would like to create more money and joy, expand your business, and work smarter, not harder. Join her live or watch the online seminar from the comfort of your own home. Go to www.accessjoyofbusiness.com to register and for more information.
Connecting you with the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Joy of Business. You're with Simone Milasas, Glenna Rice. And hey Glenna, what are you up to at the moment? When's your next classes? Let's do that before I end up doing it right at the end and I go, quickly tell everyone. So where can people find you if they're interested in, say, the SE class or a private session or any classes that you're doing?
Right, great. I have got body classes coming up in the U.S. I've got one coming up in San Francisco I'm trying to remember my schedule. This is what Andrew does for me all the time. He's so quick with that.
That's what people do to me. I know Gary and Jane's schedule really well. I know everything that goes on. And someone rang me this morning about one of my classes and said, "Oh, what's the deal?" And I went, "I have no idea." And I was like, "You got to ring one of my hosts. I don't deal with my own stuff. I deal with other people's stuff because that actually just is a sidebar." And it's like that's the way most people run a great business is when you allow other people to actually contribute. And most of the time, you're not that great at running your own stuff or promoting yourself. So I get everybody else to promote Joy Business and do all of that. And it's like, but I know Gary, Douglas, and Dr. Dane Here's schedule. You give me a month and I can tell you what they're doing. And it's like, I know it off by heart and I'm so involved in it. But that's the place that you've got to be willing to let go. That's the place that you've got to be willing to be out of control. And it's like, trust that somebody else is going to contribute to your business. They are not going to do it the way you think they're going to do it. They're going to do it the way they do it. But what if that was actually something that could create a greater possibility? So
no, and thanks for bringing that up.
Find you at least, Glenna.
Yeah, okay, right. So it's glennarice.com, pretty easy, and just go to Access Consciousness. Or they can go to drglennarice.accessconsciousness.com also and get my schedule. But I will be in Santa Barbara just coming up February 18th with Susie Godsey doing the SE Extravaganza. No prereqs. Anyone can come to that class. That's where we work with the horses that we were talking about earlier. And then I'm got San Francisco, Fort Lauderdale, Amsterdam, and Seattle body classes. And my next SE for Bodies is going to be in Boston. So they can get all the dates on my website. And, yeah, allowing people to talk about me and promote me, because it was always so awkward to say, hey, I do this really cool thing with bodies. Want to come and have a session? And I always felt like such a...
He's sort of half on the creepy side.
Right. I mean, I felt creepy when I said it, but then having people be willing to allow to be out of control and let people talk about me and even ask that, what would it take for people to talk about what I'm doing? What would it take for the word of mouth of my business to start to grow? Like, who wants to talk about what I'm doing that I've never even considered possible was something I asked. And that gave me so much more ease. And people did start talking to me, and the feedback I still get is like, whoa, really? People say that about what I do? It still always surprises me. But they're telling other people. And that always is a greater way to promote yourself than getting up there. And
I always talk about your sessions. I think they're fabulous. And it's like, and I'll always ask my body when I see you if it would like a session with you. And that's the beauty of it too. Like quite often, Glenna and I travel around the world and we go to different, more advanced access consciousness classes. And there's a lot of people there doing sessions. And it's really interesting for me because there'll be, say, one person, and every time I see them, my body goes, yes, yes, yes. And then the next time I go to other places, it goes, no, go to this person. And you're like, okay. So it's like, what if whatever you were actually creating with your body and receiving with your body, you didn't do the same thing all the time? Like I probably have like 5 masseuses that I go to around home area. And some of them, like I couldn't do all the time because they're definitely the sort of massage that you go to sleep in, they're too hard. But sometimes it's like at the moment, my body is really desiring that. You come out and you feel like you've just had a really good stretch or something, or every muscle is sort of moving. And then other times you want something that's maybe a bit lighter, like a kahuna massage or something where you fall asleep and just drift off and you're totally relaxed. But it's like, do you actually ask your body what it would like? And it's like, I mean, do you see people doing that much, or do you see them just sort of being a bit more mechanical?
Oh, they're much more mechanical. I see that a lot more. You know, they've had one good session with someone, and then they make that the answer. And people will come to see that way, too. And it's like, this is what we did last time is going to have nothing to do with what we're going to do in this session, because I can't work that linear. I can't do the same thing twice. I've always kind of been out of control in a lot of ways. That just acknowledging that has made my life easier. But I can't even eat the same dinner once a week. Like, I have to.
I know. Well, you know Brendan, my enjoyable other. It's like he never cooks the same thing twice. Never. Not once has he ever cooked the same thing twice in 6 years, which is much to my dismay sometimes, because I'm like, oh, that duck thing you cooked is really good. And it's like, but he never cooks the same thing again. And it's like, I mean, which is great. I shouldn't be complaining about that for sure. But it is interesting. It's like I grew up with, I think, you know, my mother had probably 10 dishes that she cooked, and they were exactly the same when she cooked them every time. And it's like, is that what your body desires, or does it desire something different?
Yeah. Yeah. Does it want something different? And it's pretty easy to ask your body, would you like to have this same dinner again, or would you like something else? Your body will tell you. It'll feel lighter. I mean, there'll be more space and ease, and you'll want to smile on the one that is a yes for your body. Your body will smile. But it's that willingness to be out of control. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like, so what if we were out of control with our kids? Let's talk. Another sort of business side that you do is the business of kids. And it's like, so let's talk about the business of bodies with kids, because you and Brendan, honestly, and a couple of other people, Grace Douglas, Megan Hill, it's like some of the people that I see, the only people in the world that allow their kids to have a freedom of choice with their bodies and what they choose that I've never seen before. It's like, you know, you're supposed to feed them X amount of fruit, veg, you know, your 5 food groups sort of thing. And it's like, that's not what you guys do. So can you talk about a few little hints that you can have with the business of bodies with kids?
Yes, that's great.
Their eating habits.
So much ease to ask. Okay, so I, got the tool of access asking my body what it would like to eat. We were just talking what my body would like to eat. And then starting to ask the kids' bodies what they would like to eat. And then I realized, well, that's not even a question. Do they even want to eat? Was the actual question. Like, are they hungry? Yes or no? And I was surprised to find out that my older kids, I've got 3, so the older ones never wanted to eat food in the morning. And all these mornings I'd gone around trying to, you must have breakfast. Right, because that story you hear that it's the most important meal of the day. Right. And then having my youngest one come to me, she's like, you don't make the other ones eat breakfast. Why are you making me eat breakfast? And just, okay, I'm over that one. And when she wants breakfast, now she's 12. If she wants breakfast, she gets it. And if she doesn't, I'll say like one or 2 days a week she might get a breakfast. The kids are healthy. It's easier on me. My life is easier. I don't have to worry about breakfast. I don't have to worry about what they want to eat every single day from some structure and form that some, book told me. It's really a flow of ease. And now the older ones will make everybody dinner. And I'm not even cooking for them. So it's
nice.
And the kind of food, and I gave them a lot of freedom about what they wanted to eat. It was more like, they need sugar, salt, and water to stay alive, that access point of view, which everyone thinks is so strange. But if you look at a medical professional, they know those are those 3 things. Actually, without those 3 things, your body dies pretty quick. So, okay, where they're getting their sugar, salt, and water, they're not getting sick, they're healthy, so let them have the freedom to choose what their body likes. So I never made them wrong for what they chose. And the 3 of them eat healthier than I do to this day. So it's really amazed me what's shown up over 10 years of giving them that ease with choosing what they would like to eat, how they eat. Like if we all had that when we were kids, what we'd be eating like now would be amazing.
I know. We've got Nash, my son who's 10, he's got a snack drawer, right? And it's at his level, like he can reach it and stuff. And I've got my drawer, because Brendan takes up the whole kitchen with all of his spices and everything that he wants. So I've got a drawer and Nash has got a drawer. And now in his snack drawer, he's got he's got candy, he's got chips, he's got popcorn, he's got like all, noodles, like all these different things that he likes to eat. But it's so funny because quite often he'll come home and he might eat 2 packets of chips, but the next day he'll come home and he's into apples at the moment. He's honestly eating like 3 or 4 apples a day. He eats them like candy. And it's like, and then the next day he loves cherry tomatoes, and it's like he'll eat them. And then he'll eat chips and candy. And it's like he just follows the energy on what he wants. And it's so funny when you see other kids come over and you can feel them walk up the house and they almost glance at Nash's snack drawer like, oh my goodness, he's got this drawer that he can just go to whenever he wants for a snack. And they want to just bombard it, but they're not doing it from any sort of awareness. They're just doing it from this place of lack because they don't have it. Right. And they're like, I must eat chips, I must eat candy. Whereas Nash doesn't have that point of view. And it's like, he will quite often choose, watermelon over an ice cream. And the one thing he does, which I always say to him, I love the way you do that. I need to duplicate what you do. He's eating a dinner or something and he goes, oh, I'm full. I don't want any more. And I'm like, yeah, I'm full too, but I override it and eat more because it tastes good. And I'm like, well, how do you do that? So it becomes this big joke because I'm like, yeah, so I'm trying to duplicate my son now because he will just stop eating. He'll be like, no, I'm done. And I'm like, but kids are good.
The duplicating your kids, all the time, they show me stuff all the time. It's like, wow, how'd you do that? Yeah, I want that. How did you do that? And with food, Roisin, my youngest, she had like, Mom, can you get frozen fruit at the supermarket for weeks? And she was making the most delicious, healthy kale and green leaf and berry smoothies every day after school. That the whole family would get these really healthy things. And they've always had a snack, like a cupboard that had all the snacks. I always had potato chips, something they could eat if they were hungry when I wasn't making something their whole life. And such an ease. Whew, it's very cool.
It is cool, isn't it? And it's like, it's like why would you torment yourself with trying to make sure that someone was doing the right thing? And it's like, what is the right thing? What if the correct thing was actually giving your kids and yourself permission to follow the energy on what it is that you would like? Like I said, I had wine and beef jerky last night. You just had cheese and salami and probably wine for dinner. Yes. And it's like, what if you allowed yourself to do that? I mean, I see my son sometimes, he'll eat all day. Then the next day he doesn't want to eat. And it's like, so neither of those days is wrong. And it's like, okay, so one day his body requires a bunch of food. I mean, he's growing so fast now. Yep. And it's like, and then the next day though, he doesn't want to eat. And it's like, what if you were willing to be like that too and follow the energy? And it's like, you didn't have to function from, 3 meals a day, or did I have my one piece of fruit, or I'm not allowed to have more than 2 pieces of fruit because it's got too much sugar, and all these different points of view. So everything that is, and everything that brings up for you, that you guys either start listening out there judging yourself, or you start judging me and Glenna. Can you destroy and uncreate it? Times a gazillion, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So go ahead.
We're done. Oh, we're done. I was going to say we need to give our bodies permission to let us know what they desire, what they require, and what would be fun for them.
Yes, I love that. Give them permission to actually show you. Because one of my favorite tools that Gary gave a long time ago too is like, if something's going on with your body, it's like, it's like you can't see me now because it's radio obviously, but it's like I'm patting my arm and stroking it, sort of going, I'm so sorry, body, that I'm not as smart as you. Is there another way that you could show me this? Because it's like if your body is having any sort of intensity, it's attempting to give you some information. But we override it, we don't listen, we do all this stuff. And it's like, what if you went, body, can you show me another way? And it's like, because your bodies are so much smarter than what we give them credit for. And it's like, they're just sort of like, she'll listen when she listens, And it's like, and they're willing to wait.
They're so willing to go along with their ridiculous points of views. Yes, and they know so much more, and it's such a contribution when you listen to them.
Bodies are a contribution. We'll be back really soon with Glenna Rice and Simone Milasas. Have you bought into the idea that you have to work hard for your money, that business is hard? I will share some dynamic access consciousness tools to get you out of your own way so you can create a business that actually succeeds. Join me, Simone Milasas, on The Joy of Business at 4 p.m. Mondays Eastern.
As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is. Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, The advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
The Conscious Parenting Radio Show provides inspiration and resources for loving, empowering, and respecting your children and yourself. Join me, Timothy, every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time as we consciously explore proven ways of living together in happiness, health, and harmony.
Your conscious connection to a more mindful world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hi everybody, welcome back. You're with Joy Business, Simone Milasas and Glenna Rice, and we're talking about the business of body. So one of the things I wanted to ask you about too, Glenna, is the pain and intensity that a lot of people sort of have with their bodies. And it's like, what do you see that in creating that, or how they can uncreate it, or, what is that?
Right. This is a huge part of my business with bodies. Is people, as a physical therapist, they came in with their aches and their pains and their problems and their diseases and their diagnoses with their body, and to get them out of their points of views about what it is into a question with their body, to ask their body a question. Because what I found, and what Gary Douglas has talked about, is that every pain in your body is actually information your body's giving you about something. And so often it's not a problem, and it's actually not a pain. But the second you go into the point of view that it is a problem or a pain, you start to create that. Because your body's going to create from your point of view. Like what your point of view is going to create what your body does. Like if you have the point of view your food is unhealthy, like we were talking about, your body's going to go along with that and start creating yourself as unhealthy from the point of view that your food is unhealthy. If you've decided there's a pain in your body will create it'll start creating the physical structure around that part of your body that you've decided the pain is to match what your point of view is. So if you can beat a question with your body when you feel anything, any kind of a pain, intensity, and just like asking your body, what is that? What is that? And see what starts to show up for you. You might be, is it even yours? Who does that belong to? Is it my pain? And our bodies are so aware. And go ahead.
Let's use me as a guinea pig.
Okay.
Because I've had a lot of pain in my body recently. And it's like, I would like it to go away. And what I've noticed is I'm just like, I'm getting frustrated that every day I'm waking up and it's in so much pain. And it's like, I know that if you've listened to this show, you would have heard, like, I had, massive surgery at the end of last year. And then I decided to go heli skiing in January, which is probably not the wisest choice for my body. Because ever since then, it's like, I feel like my whole body is really sore, like all the muscular stuff. And it's like, but I realized as you said this, I do keep going, oh, my body is in so much pain, I'm aching all over. And it's like, which is not going to create a change.
Right.
So
and our bodies are so good at, their bodies are so good at going along with that. Well, what is it? Some of the questions, like, who does it belong to? Is it yours? Is the pain yours? If it lightens up at all, it's not.
Yeah, I keep getting it's not mine. And then I've been looking at, the contribute, is it something to do with the earth? And it's like,
that was going to be my next, that would have been my next question. Is it the earth? And we are having a big earth class, and you're contributing tons to the El Lugar, the place that is a beautiful place on the earth. So what does the earth require from you that you've not been willing to acknowledge?
Yeah, that's the part that I haven't been willing to acknowledge. Because I get it's an energy. It's like I don't actually get this. I don't get a cognitive answer at the moment. So everything at that is, and this is the way you do this, guys. Right. If Glenna's asking me questions, and it's like something as an energy that comes up, it doesn't necessarily mean it's cognitive. And it might be cognitive if you ask the question a few more times. But in this moment, it's not. So then you destroy and uncreate it. Times a gazillion, right, wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. But the whole idea is trying to create more ease with something where you think you have a problem. And at the moment, I know I've been going, because it's like, this is so painful, my back, my thing, and it's like, even I've been working with Access Consciousness for 14 years, and you think I'd wanted to ask a bloody question, huh?
stuff with our back is often stuff we put behind us we don't want to look at. So it's not always that easy to look at it. Sometimes you need someone else to kind of ask the question because they can make it more intense so you can't get away from where you're not willing to look as easily because someone else asked you it. And sometimes your body can be changing, and that change can feel like an intensity or pain. Okay, and I know that, with surgery and everything you've had going on, that would be another question I'd really like, body, is you changing? Because it has to do a lot of work to recreate everything after you've had surgery.
I get that, actually. I actually get that my body's changing a lot. Okay, so then it's like everywhere that I've been unwilling to acknowledge how much my body is changing, just try and uncreate that. Right, wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all names, shorts, boys and beyond.
And with the changing one, it's really cool that people that come in to see me with an injury, like a broken leg or something, if I can get them to start to see when they feel the pain in the bone of their leg during the day, that's actually their body creating the change to knit and heal the bone, then they can start contributing to the change instead of making it a wrongness in their body. And that
I like that.
So there's this thing that they think is pain, they start perceiving it as something totally different. And they can contribute to it, and they heal faster.
Okay, so it's sort of like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so everything you've decided is pain in your body that's actually changed. It's keeping you from the contribution you can truly be with your body. Would you like to destroy and uncreate all of that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pot, comment and shorts, boys and beyond. Cool. And our bodies are changing all the time, so a lot of this intensity and pain is that. Or can be. It surprised me, actually, how often it is a yes with the change.
No, I get that. I get that totally. Isn't it great? I do a radio show and ask you to come on and get a session out of you.
Cool. Thank you.
How does it get any better and smarter than that? So, no, I love that. And it's like, so how much do you see that people are actually willing to recognize that how much their bodies do change? I mean, you go, I get to a certain age or something, and it's like, I've grown the height that I've grown, or I've done this. And it's like, but your bodies are constantly changing. And it's like the business of your bodies is change. Your body is willing to change far more than what you're willing to change. It's like, so what you're willing to be able to control.
Mm-hmm. The amount of change bodies go through just every day is kind of astonishing to people when I talk about it. Like your skin cells are new every single week, so the amount of change is actually just going on regular when you're not even contributing to it is intense and amazing. And we discount it. We pretend like they're the same every single day. They just get a little bit older. Maybe they put on a little weight, maybe they take off a little weight, but not a lot of change. But they're changing constantly. So if we contributed to that change, what could we create? What could our bodies be like every day for us?
Good question. I like that. And before we end the show, let's touch on that aging thing again too. Well, not again, but let's touch on the aging thing, because I see that most people sort of do that. I mean, I remember when my brother turned 40 and he goes, oh, well, it's all downhill from now. And I was like, seriously? And I was like, because he was older than me, and I was like 38, and I was like, wow. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to have that point of view when I turn 40 that it's all downhill from now. And it's like, what if it just became greater? And it's like, I can tell you right now in my mid-40s, and there's no way in the world I'd want to have I want to say the headspace that I had when I was 20. I much more enjoy my life now, way more enjoy my life. So it's like, what sort of tools or things could you offer to people to look at that? You know, what if it wasn't about aging? What if it was about getting younger and being younger?
Euthanizing, being ageless. What if you had an ageless body? What would that be like? Yeah, I just turned 50, and it's the same thing. It was like, that was a really weird number. And my body feels, the way I perceive it is younger than it was when it was in its mid-20s. What it can do, the stamina it has, the fun it has, the ease. I mean, the pain, I had more pain in my body in my 20s than I ever have now. And it hasn't slowed down at all. I can go for a run further than I did then. So it's really amazing. If we don't have the point of view that we're getting old, our body doesn't have to do it for us. So all your points of views about aging, keeping you from having the ageless body you truly have, could destroy and create all of that.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Because it's funny, my father, both my parents are, they're just in their 75, 74, 75. And my mom has never said I'm getting old once. I've never heard her say, oh, I'm just getting old. And she does everything she did when she was a young woman. My dad said it all the time, oh, I'm getting old, I'm getting old. And he can barely walk. And he's starting to do the Alzheimer's-like, and he's been saying it for so many years that his body's been creating it for him.
Right.
And I'm seeing this huge difference about how your point of view about aging creates your reality with it. If we change our point of view, what can we actually create?
That's true. It's a good question. I've got the same thing with my parents, except the other way around. And it's like my dad he's died a few years ago now, but he was always, like even in his early 90s, he would have something up and he'd be like, oh, Simone, I'm doing my exercises and I'm going to, walk around the block and I'm going to do this. Like he never saw it as the end game. He was always like, oh, I can change this. I can make something better. Whereas my mum was just like, how many more tablets and pills can I pop? And, how many more things can I have go wrong with me? I mean, she just recently hurt her ankle, and it was so interesting to watch how she was happy to introduce me to all her doctors and nurses and stuff like that and take her to the physio and the doctors rather than go out for a nice lunch. And I was like, wow, this actually makes her happier, that she's got some stuff going on with her body, which she always does, and to realize that and go, that's actually what makes her happy. She doesn't wish to change it. So it's like, but you don't need to buy into it. And it's like, that's what this reality projects at you too, that when you get, 40, 50, it's like there's all these age, times of the year that have that sort of projection and expectation of now what you should have achieved. Or it's like, now you can't do this. And it's like, because you're too old or you're too young or anything like that. So all those points of view that this reality projects at you, can we destroy and uncreate it? Times a godzillion. All right, wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So we are almost at the end of our show. So if you would like to check out any of Glenna Rice's classes, she is in the US, but she's also traveling all over the world. She'll be doing classes in Europe as well. So you can go to glennarice.com. You can also go to the Access Consciousness .com page and look her up, Dr. Glenna Rice. She's in California, and find out anything she's doing there. And thank you